I'm DeOndre Branch,
I'm Timothy Henry.
and today our podcast is on Is it fair for athletes to be labeled as role models? I believe that it is fair for athletes to be labeled as role models. They sign big contracts, they're constantly on TV, so they're constantly seen. And anything they do in the spotlight, whether it's positive or negative, it gets scrutinized very heavily.
In regards to that, of course, I disagree with what you're saying for the simple fact that athletes altogether, and not even just athletes, but anybody that's in professional or like professional part of their life or celebrity, they all are human. They're simply just regular human beings at the end of the day. And I don't think it's fair that everything they do, whether it's positive or negative, gets more of an outlook than, say, for myself, I feel as though sometimes I can do something just as important as they have done, and I don't get the spotlight. And in regards to that, I do believe that younger kids around the ages for like 7 to like 11, do look at the athletes a lot in them years. So if I do believe that those kids are easily persuaded. So for instance, the Michael Vick incident that happened in 2007 with him fighting dogs, he could have easily persuaded a kid around those ages to want to go get dogs and go fight those dogs. And that just has something to do with them looking up to those guys as role models. They're not perfect. They do a lot more things than what the media portrays for them of doing, and that's one of the reasons why I disagree.
All right. Ben Disson of the Cornell Daily Sun says athletes are considered role models because they adhere to held to a higher standard, which I agree with. It's not fair, but constantly you see where athletes do things as far as for like social issues, like when LeBron had the Heat, like where the all black warm ups after I think it was after Mike Brown had gotten killed.
Mm-hmm.
Like then you saw a lot of more people like um, dang what's the word? Oh yeah, that's the word. Protest. You saw a lot more people protest after the Heat did that. I'm not saying that people wouldn't have protested anyway, but being that they saw athletes do it, I felt like it gave them a bigger reason to do it because they saw people that they like to watch constantly on TV, and they saw them do it, so they were like, "I want to do it because LeBron is doing it."
And to what you're saying, I do agree that athletes are held to a higher standard, but I feel like that isn't fair for the simple fact that I feel like they're only held to a higher standard because of the amount of money they have in their bank accounts. And for instance, I look at my parents as my role model versus athlete, just because I know they're just like me as far as financial situations, and they're not always in the media, and they're right there constantly in my face. Because, for like, you could think that your favorite athlete that you may look at as a role model is doing all the right things, but behind closed doors, what are they really doing? Sometimes those athletes may just be doing those things that they're doing for the media to get that positive outlook, but behind closed doors, they may be doing something totally different that we don't know that they're necessarily doing that could be negative, could be bad for society today if people were to see what they were really doing.
Are you saying like athletes that constantly show when they're giving back to somebody or like having charities, but then just behind closed doors they're a whole different person, like beating up their wife or something?
Right. Correct.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not fair, but I guess it just what comes with being well known, being an athlete, being a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what comes with it. kids and adults look up to these athletes 24/7, and they mimic everything they see them do. And not everything they see them do is necessarily negative. Like Mike Trout, for instance, he's one of the most quietest players in baseball. Well, actually, sports, period. But he just signed a huge contract. It's the biggest contract in baseball history. Well, sports history, actually. And he's a great role model because, like, he plays the game the right way. He never fusses with an umpire. Even if the umpire visibly gets a call wrong, you'll never see him argue. Like, he just does everything the right way. And I feel like, just based off of him, he's definitely somebody, like, I would want my future kids to look up to.
I know there are a lot of athletes out there that are constantly doing good and will be great role models for children. And there are a lot of athletes out there that what they do in the media is also what they do behind the scenes. But for us, for people in general to give that quote unquote like that spotlight on just any and every athlete just because of the amount of money they have in their bank account or the fame that they have of being a role model, I don't think it's fair. Because I don't think athletes coming to the profession wanting to be role models. I think that role expands as they mature. Because I do believe there are a lot of immature athletes out there that would not necessarily want to be called that would probably want to be called a role model, but don't have the right quality and aspects of being a great role model and setting an example. Because all those immature athletes want to do is maybe party. Saying that if they're young, they're probably doing all types of drugs that we don't know about. They're doing everything the wrong way, and that's why that's why have my stance on why I think it's unfair and not right to put that label on athletes, certain athletes.
To pick up on your point, Charles Barkley is well known for always like stating however he feels. He don't care how it even sounds.
He's going to be a role model.
Yeah, he's one of the most well-known people that I've like read about and constantly heard him say out his own mouth that he's definitely not a role model.
Yeah. I think we definitely need more people like him. They are not afraid to express their feelings, their emotions, because that would definitely help as far as labeling, for instance, today, labeling who's role models and who's not, or who would want to be a role model. But I think it just comes down to picking and choosing the right one, because there are a lot that are not necessarily role models behind the scenes.
It was something interesting that I read about Rob Gronkowski. He just retired, and he's like, when the media portrays him as like a very childish person, like that's how he seems.
Yeah.
But I read that he hasn't spent not 1 cent of any money that he's gotten from the NFL, like his contract money. All the money he's ever spent has only been from endorsements. And I think like something like that is very big, because you constantly see athletes just spending way too much money just because they have it, and then they having to go bankrupt.
That's good. I know those type players that are just constantly spending money are giving, are basically putting judgment on themselves and basically putting judgment on just people with a lot of money, period. Whether it's athletes or celebrities or just people in general, because they're being judged as people just out there just spending money because they have it. And people like Rob Gronkowski, there's a DN that plays for the Eagles that also did the same thing. Has never spent $1 out of his check, and he's only lived off endorsements. But those people are the type of athletes that we need to be that we need in our society to be more outspoken and that can teach lessons to other athletes and teach lessons to kids around the ages that I said before. Let's say, if it's, for example, the value of $1, how to respect a woman, because there are a lot of instances now in the NFL, where a lot of athletes have been beaten on their wives, like the Ray Rice situation, and most recently the Kareem Hunt situation. And that's definitely not a good outlook or a good look on the NFL, just because these incidents have been occurring in the NFL the most lately. And we need people like Mike Trout, Kawhi Leonard. We need all the people to come together and just teach these other guys what's good and what's not, and what's good for the media, like how to be great role models. Because I'm 100% sure there's a lot of role models out there that they know they're role models, but they don't speak up because they necessarily might not want to be a role model. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like Mike Trout and Kawhi Leonard, they're just very soft-spoken. Right. So you're not really going to get a lot of talking from them.
Yeah, that's good. That's great.
This concludes our podcast. I really hope y'all enjoyed it.
Hope y'all enjoyed it.